Hi and welcome to another episode of Toby's Barbecue Corner. Today we're making some stuffed cannelloni, and what we're going to stuff them with I'm going to show you in this episode. And this is what we need for today now. Obviously we need cannelloni, and these are the number 88, so they're nice and big to stuff. What else do you need? Well, today we're using up some of the brisket I still had, some of my homemade sausages that I made, some of my homemade pulled pork, so pretty much everything is homemade. You need a little bit of cheese, you need some bacon, you need your favorite rub, and your favorite barbecue sauce. Right, what we're going to start off with is we're going to mix all these different meats together, and I like to do that the night before simply because it has time then to really marinate and mix all these lovely juices. Now obviously yes, you know, the brisket as well as the sausages are still whole, so we need to cut them up, and obviously the finer you cut them up the better it is. Now in addition, what you could do is obviously you could put it through a grinder, but not gonna bother. You know, you want a little bit of texture, and obviously the sausages are already ground up. And obviously, yes, you want to have that bite in your cannelloni, you know, so you don't want to have kind of like all that mushy texture in there. And then basically we're just going to throw it in a big pan, sorry, in a big pot. Obviously everything is cooked besides the sausage, but when we smoke that tomorrow, that will get cooked as well. So let me finish up that brisket, and then we're going to move on to the sausages. Right, the brisket is done. Let's move on to the sausages. And just to make it easy, we're just going to take them out of the casing, and that will then already do it. You know, we're not going to bother keeping it in the casing simply because the stuffing or to stuff it that way would be a proper nightmare. So just gonna throw that in, and we're gonna give it a good mix in a second. So there we go. That should do it with the sausages, and then obviously the pulled pork as well. That's a great way of actually using up any potential leftovers that you have. There we go. All in there, and obviously depending on how many servings you want to have, the more or the less you can then make. Now what I like to do as well is I like to throw in some cheese. You know, you can use any cheese you want, and then we're going to give that a good mix. All done, and then just for good measure we're going to throw in some more rub. Now you can use any rub you want. I'm using the 4 beef rub for today. I like the flavor it adds, but obviously as I said, you know, the pulled pork is already smoked, the brisket is already smoked. There's enough flavor in there, but you know, we're just adding a little bit to it. Alright, and then on to the second part of the 3-step process. We're going to take the cannelloni, and I know some folks like to boil it or pre-boil it a little bit. I'm really worried that it might get too soft. And now what you want to do is you want to take that mixture of meats and sausage that you have and just stuff it in there. Really make sure that you don't have any air bubbles in there, so really stuff it only from one side. You know, keep your finger on the other side. Just be gentle with it, simply because you don't want them to crack. Alright, so that looks pretty. And then just a little bit more on this side. So this is a bit of a time-consuming process, so if you have, take a friend, you know, make them do some work as well if you reward them later on with some great tasting barbecue. Alright, so this is about what it looks like, and we're now gonna finish these up, and then I'm gonna show you the third step of the 3-step process. Right, our cannelloni, our little shotgun shells, so to speak, they're done. And now onto the third part of the 3-part process, so to speak. You just take your breakfast bacon and you want to wrap them inside that bacon, make it nice and tight, do a little bit of overlap at the ends, you know, obviously to prevent anything from running out. And now what that will do is it will actually start to moisturize the shell a little bit, and it will therefore soften a little bit overnight. Alright, and then now what you can do is you can take a little bit more rub if you want. Just throw in a little bit more rub, you know, just roll them around a little bit, make sure that they're nicely coated, and then throw them in the fridge overnight, and then I'll see you tomorrow. Today we're cooking on the Anders Monroe Pro, one of the gas barbecues a good friend of mine has, and I've put the shotgun shells on this rack. It's just a little bit easier to cook. The barbecue is coming up to temperature. We're looking for about 120 degrees, so we're right about there. And obviously we're going to have a drip tray because of the cheese, etc. We're also going to be smoking that a little bit with hickory chunks. We're gonna put that in there and let it sit there for the first half an hour. Exactly an hour later, and some chicken wings. The texture is starting to be the way I want it, so we're going to start glazing them with some good old Mississippi barbecue sauce. We're going to let that set. We've already reached our internal temperature of 75 degrees Celsius, so we're doing good. Right guys, an hour and 20 minutes later, we're done. And look at this, doesn't this look absolutely fantastic? We're gonna dig in now. Alright guys, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the quick video about our stuffed cannelloni or shotgun shells. Now they were super delicious. You know, all these different flavors really played into it, and obviously it stayed nice and juicy inside that cannelloni, and it was really good to stuff it raw, so to speak, and let it rest overnight because it was nice and soft to eat. Now, if you did enjoy the video, I would appreciate a comment and a thumbs up. Please head over to that subscribe button for more great videos to come, and I hope to see you soon again at Toby's Barbecue Corner.